Okay, let's get underway. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar on law firm productivity trends and the value of managing your practice from Outlook. We're delighted to have so many of you on the session today. Really, thanks for joining us. My name is David Hepburn, and I've been with ActionStep for nearly a year and run the company day to day. I have spent more than 10 years building great software for professionals such as doctors and lawyers, and my passion is making a difference in helping our customers deliver better outcomes for their clients. Duncan is one of our key product managers and has spent over 6 years at ActionStep developing our platform and solution, and he's going to give you a demonstration of our new add-in a bit later. So here's what I plan to cover with you today. We'll talk about some major lawyer productivity trends and what impacts productivity in your workday. And these provide the context for why managing your practice from Outlook is really valuable. Obviously, remote working is more important than ever in light of COVID-19 and all of the global drama we're currently experiencing. And we'll also discuss the implications of Microsoft's cloud strategy and how it can benefit your firm. We're going to look at how our add-in enables you to manage your practice from Outlook and get control of your inbox. We are focused on delivering features and functions that meet you where you are. This is a key ethos for ActionStep going forward and how we make it easier for lawyers and others, paralegals and administrators and practice managers, to do what they need to do. Most technology, particularly technology for lawyers, requires you to leave the familiar and learn a new system or way of doing things. That's why our ambition has been sparked to try and meet lawyers where they already are. With our technology, rather than constantly forcing you to leave the familiar and navigate somewhere else, we're bringing core case and matter management functions to wherever you are. That includes your mobile device. Here are some of the trends that I'd like to talk about today. How lawyers, paralegals, and administrators spend their days, the systems that you spend most of your time in. How juggling multiple tasks or context switching all the time is killing productivity. Where you spend your time. We're doing a lot more remote working, globally, and also obviously given the coronavirus challenges at the moment, this is more important than ever, being able to connect and interact with teammates as well as clients from the applications that you live in. Also a major trend around why people are using mobile apps for the things that they actually could do on the desktop. So why we pick up our phone to do banking rather than use the online version. On a day-to-day basis, where do you spend most of your time? In email or Word documents, matter case management systems, billing systems, calendars, there's all sorts of places that we, as practicing lawyers, paralegals, and administrators, spend our time. Do you jump between these systems all the time? Or do you focus on one and then step out to then focus on another? Where do you do your admin as you go, or do you catch up at the end of your day? These are all opportunities and challenges for us where we have to context switch between systems. According to feedback from our users, it turns out that many of you spend most of your time in places that you're most productive, such as email and Word. So we know the systems where we spend most time. How productive are we in those systems? Are we doing what we need to do in one place, finishing and moving on? Or are we jumping between these systems, sending an email in Outlook, updating a file and case management system so it knows that you've sent out an email, editing a document and saving it into a client file or matter, and then going back to Outlook to send it to someone else? Well, from what I hear, the latter is most common for you guys, and that is called context switching. Even when you aren't doing it deliberately, the way we work today in multiple systems and multiple devices in multiple places with colleagues grabbing your attention all the time makes it impossible to avoid context switching. Our job at ActionStep is to try and reduce it, and the truth is that our brains are not capable of focusing on more than one thing at a time. And changing these lanes is obviously killing productivity. just go through a few little insights and stats that we've managed to gather in our research around this. I mean, 80% of all information in firms exists within email. The information obviously exists, it's just not in the right place. It's not always in your matter management system or your case management system, and it's hard to get it into the right place. Real-time updates are best as they are most accurate and others can act on it. So if something's sitting in your inbox and not in the matter, it's hard for someone else to interact with that information or document that's sitting in your inbox. It takes a lot of effort to go to another system and replicate a copy of the information, and we know that this is the context switching that I was just talking about a moment ago. There is a disconnect between where the information is, such as email, and where people are being asked to file it in practice management systems. This was a little quote from the American Bar Association. All attorneys should be tracking their time and updating files contemporaneously and recording time every day. It is too difficult to try to recreate your week or month at the end of the billing cycle. If you try, you're almost certain to make inaccurate estimates of spent time, or of time spent. You know, 1 in 4 workers fails to comply with document management retention rules. And again, in this age of security protocols and key compliance, this is really fundamental. And typical law firms are missing almost 50% of the information from their files. That goes back to this point of a lot of information living in emails and other file storage areas rather than in and alongside the matter or case. Our third trend is a topic many of you will be familiar with these days, and all spending less time in the office. Obviously, right now it's enforced. You know, I think one of the main things that we've discovered from our over 10,000 users is they tell us that the pressure to be efficient is hindered by the amount of time they spend out of the office. Whether you're in court, at meetings, or simply spending time getting closer to your clients, balancing your work requirements and time away from your desk creates a major efficiency pressure. The American Bar Association's Legal Technology Survey report found a whopping 96% of lawyers use a smartphone to do some amount of legal work. There's a difference between answering a few emails and calls from outside the office and being a truly mobile lawyer, being able to work and access anything you need as a lawyer from anywhere. Obviously, as a cloud-based legal software firm, what I'm interested in is when productivity on mobile devices or laptops becomes equal to or greater than working at your desk. And what you should all be interested in is the same thing, because realistically, that's what more and more law firms are moving towards. And the benefits are huge. In a Thomson Reuters 2018 dynamic law firm study, it showed what separates the most profitable firms from their less profitable peers is not their rates, it's the number of billable hours they actually charge for. It stands to reason that the more client engagement activities you do, and the less time spent on what we call administrivia or admin busy work, will ultimately boost your profitability. As lawyers, there's enormous pressure to maintain and improve your own client relations. Getting closer to your clients means spending time with your clients in their offices or homes, really understanding the pain points and communicating with them regularly. Well, to reach that goal, we see law firms adopting more technology, and when used well, there are productivity and profitability gains, and it also enables lawyers to spend more time providing clients with real value, serving them well, and producing great work. Many firms choose to be completely virtual, where their teams work remotely, in some cases from all around the world. And obviously many of you are experiencing this activity today. We have many customers like this, and there are many benefits such as cost, flexibility, and access to talent. In the USA and Australia markets, approximately 16% of firms now are remote or virtual firms. Perhaps there will be more virtual firms after COVID-19 has forced us all to get used to working from home and operating within virtual teams. I'll just quickly touch on the mobile apps area. You know, I think, you know, the trend here is really interesting, and you know, we're showing a preference for using mobile apps to do things rather than a more detailed browser screens of the same product. You could be sitting at your computer and yet use your phone to do everyday things like transfer money, send a file, look up a contact. You might think the reason for this are linked to being out of the office more, but learning to use your mobile is actually a different activity altogether. It's actually more about how easy apps are to use. Mobile apps by design have to reduce down the amount of things you can do on them. They focus on the things people need to do the most frequently. So we at ActionStep are thinking about developing new systems and software from browsers or mobiles that enable you to prioritize key activities. One other key theme that's occurring out there is Microsoft's Office 365 strategy. I was recently in Chicago at the ABA Tech Show, and in one of the big seminar rooms, the presenter asked those in the room how many of them used Office 365, and nearly every hand in the room went up. There was probably 350 people in the room. So now, obviously, we're here to talk about managing your practice from Outlook, and this is enabled really by Microsoft's cloud strategy and their most recent online product suite, Office 365. Because of the cloud-based aspects of both of our products, it integrates much better with other cloud-based systems that lawyers use. Many of the issues lawyers have faced before can be limited. For example, having to check documents in and out, being able to collaborate on documents in real time, losing work because it didn't save to your server. So we are seeing many of our firms adopt Office 365 and the technology suite within it. Well, the latest statistics show that Office 365 now stores more than half of all the sensitive data that is stored in the cloud in the form of Outlook email content, Word documents, and Excel spreadsheets. So how can you manage your practice from Outlook? Well, we know from our session that Outlook and Word are the places lawyers spend most of their time. Firms need matter and client information in one place, and that one place is not Outlook and Word. Expecting lawyers like yourselves to tag and file documents into a centralized system of predetermined taxonomies is completely impractical. Lawyers find plenty of ways to get around required filing steps that lead to centralized file that's incomplete. So you guys are great at avoiding those painful activities, and so what happens is documents don't get filed in the right place. So we're focused on becoming a business management software system for lawyers and law firms that supports how they work and is accessible in the systems and places where you already spend most of your time. Some other business productivity and legal practice management systems have tried to do this, but they end up as simple email syncing. We're focused on bringing the key things you want to do in these applications you spend your time in. So you can see here, we're bringing real case management functionality to Microsoft 365, real ability to manage your documents, track time, and do real-time updates of your matters and cases. To give you an example of this, I want to talk to you about something we have been working on for some time and recently released. We have developed the most comprehensive Outlook add-in for Microsoft 365 available on the market today. It is built with how lawyers work in mind and is designed to take away that context switching so you can stay productive where you spend the most time. With ActionSteps Outlook add-in, you can stay in Outlook 365 while you update client files with relevant documents, communications, and notes. You can review matter status, record time, assign tasks, and keep clients informed in real time. This reduces the productivity loss of moving between systems and improves the quality of data in your practice management system because real-time updates are more complete, timely, and accurate. ActionStep is now the only practice management system with a comprehensive Outlook 365 add-in for law firms, and this is the first version of the Office 365 add-in that we're going to show you today. Before Duncan takes you through installing and using the add-in, I want to take this opportunity to give you some further context about where ActionStep is going. Our purpose as a company is to make lawyers awesome. We have a deep respect for what you all do. You impact every milestone in our lives and businesses, and the difference you all make has a profound impact on your clients' personal and business success. It benefits everyone when you have the tools and the freedom to do your work really well, and that's what ActionStep aims to do, to give law firms the freedom and tools to evolve, grow, and be awesome. Based on a deep understanding of how lawyers work, this Outlook add-in aims to meet lawyers where they are in the places and systems where you spend the most productive time. letting you manage your practice and keep your work organized wherever you are on any device. So let's see it in action. I'm going to hand over to Duncan McDougall now, who's going to show you exactly how our add-in works.
Thanks very much for that, David. Appreciate it. I'll just take presenter of this. And hopefully you can now all see my screen. Now, at the moment, I am in my Outlook. I've got my inbox open, and to help demonstrate what I want to show you today, I'm going to click on an email to open it up. And I'm going to choose to open up the ActionStep panel. So what we've built is this panel that will sit to the right-hand side of your inbox. And not just your inbox, your sent items, wherever you want it to appear. There's a handy pin up the top to ensure that it's always going to be here, easy for me to access as I'm reading the email and reference whatever I need to within ActionStep. First part and fundamental part is the ability to be able to assign emails that are in your inbox or sent items or wherever in Outlook straight into the relevant matter. So you can see at the moment, it's giving me suggestions of where I can save this email to. It's giving me suggestions based on the contacts in my email. So it's actually looking at the people who have been included in the from and the to and the CCs. And it's found relevant matters that have those kind of contacts within ActionStep as well. So if one of the suggestions is accurate, it's just a one click to be able to assign that email straight into the matter. And here I have the details of the matter to be able to go. Now, while we aim and strive for perfection, we don't always get things right. So if the suggestions that we provide, I'll click on another email to show you another example, don't match what you're after, you can, of course, search. So you're able to search by the matter name to bring up results, or you can search by the matter number as well. Once you find what you're after, you can click on it and it's done. You'll notice up the top, it is showing me progress. So at the moment, it saved the email and now it's saving any attachments that are attached to that email straight up into the matter. And that little green tick lets me know that the whole process is now finished. Even if you have attachments which are huge on your emails, you'll still be able to access the rest of this panel, in which it's given me details of the matter. Now, before I go through what the actual details that show me, I do want to prove to you that it has actually saved that into the matter. So if I go into ActionStep, the web application, and pull up the same matter that I was just looking for, I'll find a copy of that email is right here. So here's the email here from Duncan, contracts for your approval is sitting there. I can also find them on my matter by going to all my emails under the comms menu, checking in my inbox, and here it is here. Exactly the same email that I just linked up, all here with the attachments already saved in. So at a single click of a button, I've managed to save that straight from my Outlook. Once you're in your Outlook, you're actually able to reference useful information from your matter. So I don't have to do that flick and change that I just did straight into ActionStep to be able to find relevant information. There's basic information about the matter up the top, and then we have these tabs across the top for you to be able to see more information. On the Home tab, we can see basic information about the matter, who it's assigned to, what current step it's up to, what progress has been made, who the primary participants are, last file note, and I can see billing details as well. So I can see how much is outstanding, how much is waiting to be billed. Going to the parties, I can see all the parties who are involved in this particular matter. So I'm easily able to reference any details I want to. Perfect for when you're composing a new email, the same panel will appear, so you're able to reference people who are involved, add them to the emails that you're composing. Similar to file notes, I can see all the file notes that have been recorded against the matter. I can see all the time entries that I've recorded against the matter, whether they've been billed or not. And I can access any tasks that have been loaded to the matter. In this case, there's a whole lot of tasks that have already been completed, but I can see that there's a few that are overdue and still need to be done. And completing them straight from here is a nice simple option to be able to tick the box to be able to uncomplete or complete a task. After you've assigned a email, it's easy to keep on track of what you have done. Now you can see these little green boxes on my inbox. If I expand this out, you can see that they're actually categories that we've assigned to any email. So as soon as you've assigned an email in ActionStep, you'll find that a category gets added to that email. So as I'm looking at my inbox, it's nice and easy for me to see which emails I've already assigned. So I know which ones I need to look at and consider whether they need assigning. As well as being able to see all the relevant information on your matter, you're also able to enter in new information. This plus icon up the top will allow me to create a new contact. So if an email I've just received is asking me introducing a new person, I can save their details into my action step, enter in some basic details, name, email address, phone numbers, add multiple phone numbers, addresses if I have them. You're also able to create a file note. So after reading the email, you're able to quickly and easily get that information into your matter so that your matter is up to date and has all the relevant information. Obviously, I'd encourage people to be slightly more detailed with the notes that they leave, but it's a nice, simple, easy thing to be able to do. And you can see it's been created against my matter. I'm able to create a task. So if this requires a follow-up that I have to do, I can easily enter that in, enter a further description, give it a due date, follow up next week, and save it. So it's nice and quick and simple to be able to action what you want from what you need to. And lastly, of course, as we all have to do, record the time that you spent. The time that will come through here will pull through details from ActionStep, so you'll have quick codes to help you enter in time faster. Your default rates that will come through will automatically be populated. You can enter in the time that you want and save it, and it's done. Nice and simple and easy. So easy way for you to be able to update your matter from within your Outlook. This email that I have has attachments as well, and I can organize those attachments by clicking on this attachments icon. When I do, it's going to allow me to choose which attachments I want to save through. I can then see the folder structure that I have on my matter. I can choose a folder and choose to save it to that. It's going to ask me to confirm. I click OK, and now those documents are going to be saved on my matter in the place that I asked them to be saved. And again, I just want to prove that I'm not lying along the way. If I jump into my matter, go into my documents, under the unconditional folder, here's the documents that I just saved up, those two there. The task that I just created will be found underneath my task list. Follow up on an email, as well as the file note that I just saved will be in there, the useful file note that it was. So everything that you do within Outlook is going to be updating in the repository that is your ActionStep matter. If you want to, you can unlink emails. So if you make a mistake, there's the option to be able to unlink it. You can delete the email from the matter as you go through, or leave it in the matter and just unassign it in Outlook. And that actually allows you to save the same email against different matters as you're processing through. Once you have gone through and saved individual emails is one thing, but if you aren't going through and doing it as you read each email, we do have a bulk assign option. Now the bulk assign option is going to show you all of the emails that are in your inbox, and you can choose which ones to save and then select which matter you want to save them to. And now that's going to process in the background. I can actually remove this window down, continue on with my Outlook. And in the background, it's going to upload all of those emails through and finish the process. One other thing, last thing I want to go through is that you're not just logged into your desktop version of Outlook. we've built this so that it will work on the online version of Outlook as well. This is me in a browser on Outlook Online, and you can see I've got the same panel to the right-hand side with the same functionality, allowing me to save emails up into my Matter with the same functionality here. We also even have the same options available on a mobile. So here is my mobile, which is currently connected to my computer, so I can show that. There's my kids. Don't worry too much about them. But if I open up the Outlook app, I'm able to open up an email within that. And by clicking on these three dots here that you find in an email, and careful not to click on these three dots here that you find on an email, you'll have options to be able to forward, reply, etc. But down the very bottom of this tab, you can see is the option to be able to open an action step. So straight from my mobile, I'm checking my emails, and suddenly I'm able to assign it to a matter. Again, I can search for a new matter if I wanted to, but in this case it's right, and I've got those details on my matter straight here on my mobile. And that's the new add-in that we have produced. We think it's a comprehensive, wonderful way to be able to bring ActionStep into lawyers' lives, meet them where they are, rather than have to drag them away into their own practice management system. Now, if anybody has, thank you, David.
Yes, indeed. We're happy to take any questions. Just for the record, there, you can do all those add time entries, create tasks, all from within the Outlook app on your phone as well. All that same functionality that Duncan showed you in the add-in on screen right now, can be used on your mobile as well. So, Duncan, thank you very much indeed for that. We do have a few questions I can see that have been asked here of us. I see if I'm Mac based, can I use this add-in? Yes, you can. I use a Mac, and I've been using the add-in for a couple of months now, and it works great. I have an iPhone as well, and that Outlook app on the iPhone works really well. What else we got? From the same questioner. Is the addition of the add-in going to cost more under a subscription? No, this is entirely within your current subscription to ActionStep if you subscribe right now. What else have we got here? Can I get a more detailed demo of the Outlook add-in? Yes, you can. We can organize that. We have for those of you that have asked that here, we will send you a little email, and if you'd like to set that up, we can do that. What else have I got here? Can the task be assigned to others or only to yourself? In this very first release, you could only assign a task to yourself, but we're actually in the middle of adding the feature to assign it to anybody that you want to within your organization. So in our next release, you will see the ability to assign tasks to others. What else we got here? Is there any reporting available? Not sure quite what you mean there, but yes, I mean, within ActionStep itself, there's really comprehensive and detailed reporting, all sorts of views for slicing and dicing your data. So I'm not exactly sure what you mean from the add-in itself, but at the moment, what we showed you is what we have there, but the complete ActionStep system will provide you with all the reporting needs I think you'll need. What else we got here? Yeah, so that's it. We're also working on an improvement to figure out whether the email has already been uploaded to the matter by somebody else. That's something that we will be hopefully releasing in one of our upcoming releases to this add-in. So thank you for that question there. What else we got? Quite a few questions here, guys. Yeah, we have. This will be recorded. This webinar, and we can share that with you after the session. Okay, guys, I've got lots of other questions. Can you assign multiple emails, Bob? Assign multiple emails? Yes, you can. Guys, I think what I'll do, I've got a lot of questions here. I think what I'll do is we can take them all offline and send you all specific answers straight after the session. But anyway, I think that's probably enough for now. Thank you very, very much for joining, and let us know if we can do anything to give you more insights into ActionStep or the add-in, and we'll share the demo and presentation that we've done with you after the session. Thanks very much for everyone attending, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks, everyone.